There's nothing special about you because you following some spook ass God, some God who we know is narcissistic, who's demonic, who's a goddamn liar, who's bipolar. The God of the Bible is a bipolar motherfucker.
You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
I was in that position and I couldn't open my mouth. They tore my ass up so bad. I literally had tears in my eyes, bro. I didn't cry like, but my eyes was fucking watery.
Polite, if let's say Polite is innocent, he could be a partial victim. You know, maybe he broke up with the girl. Who knows, you know, what happened in that instance. But the only true victim is that girl. So I think that's what we need.
And I think that's being a hypocrite because you have a member of ISUPK who was locked up for child molestation, for rape, or whatever it is, and y'all still support him. Here it is, Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all wouldn't support him. See the double standard?
What
you have a member
standard?
in ISUPK, which y'all support him financially. You put money on his books, but Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all
this how I know you taking a strong. This how I know you take a strong position of Polite's innocence, regardless of waiting till the verdict come, because you keep bringing up the same exact thing, even though I've explained the position dozens of times. How many times do I have to explain the same exact position? So in that instance, the brother took a lot of.
Even if you explain it still remains the same, though, Captain.
No,
you still support
what remains the same?
Guilty.
But what remains the same, though?
That he was found guilty.
Definitely was found guilty, but he also
Polite was not found guilty.
I'm not saying don't support him, though.
Right,
brother. You said if the brother come on my channel, you done.
Wait.
And you know you got me, man. You got me. I said, all right, brother.
That's right.
All right, peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sarnetta TV House of Consciousness production. You already know what it is. This is your brother Sarnetta. I am your host, and I'm bringing in another heavy hitter. You brothers and sisters better be ready. When we build this wall, this comedic wall, oh my God, ain't nothing stopping. We bringing in another young brother. He's a scholar. You one leave, 5 more come in. Reggie leave, 5 more come in. You know what I'm saying? Garfield leaves and turn his back on Kemet, 10 more come in. We already got Chris Harris. We bringing in another brother who is awesome, who is powerful. I would say I don't know, between him and Jabari, I would say they probably right here until I see the brother's work and ethic, and if he can handle the ring, getting in, or the battlefield, or whatever, anybody that come at him, if he can deal with that pressure, I think he can, because he's Kemet. And so without any further ado, I bring to you my brother Shaka in the building. What's up, Shaka? He runs the channel of Ma'at Forever. So if y'all are aware of that, make sure you go and subscribe to Ma'at Forever channel. Go over there and show some love for our brother. Peace and Black Power to you. Hotep. Shaka, what's happening, man? Unmute yourself.
Hotep Sen-E Sarnetta.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation. I just want to greet the people as I usually do. Hotep Senu, Hena Senut, Iti, Ren Ishaka and Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Bonjour, Sak Passe, Mbote, all that good stuff.
Damn, don't y'all hear that? Don't that sound beautiful to your ears, man, right there? Just to hear him go in on that. I know he's dealing with knowledge, man.
Have you ever met the Father Banger?
No, I've seen him. I've seen him, but I'm not acquainted with him.
Well, you seen him on YouTube?
But brother, you like to say I know him and him. In 30 years, you don't have a book, you don't have a website, you don't have a platform. You have to go on other people's platforms. So you can talk all you want that you were acquainted with.
Well,
it doesn't hold any bearing with your scholarship.
Listen, I think everybody knows my work. You're just being introduced. Okay?
What is your work? You've been carrying their suitcases. You went errand and bought them drinks and coffee and tea. Everybody can do that. That's why I nicknamed you Butler.
So Sarnetta, Sarnetta, so you allow this person to talk about I carry Sarnetta's bags and suitcases.
So you are butler for Sarnetta as well. It's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
and Sarnetta called you the B word. You did not object. You don't have any backbone, Reggie.
You know.
The proto-Semitic Allah burning down tells us was a black God represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere. But you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check. It's going to come up. And in here, it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it. If you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now, finally, you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabs Negroes, which first is El, but somehow, some way becomes Allah. But that's up to y'all. That's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again, from the front, compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical king's seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the king Hezekiah, and here we have an ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. The God of the Bible, El, slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic narrative poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Masriya in the prophetic literature, where it clearly says that El floundered in his own feces and urine. A 1 2, a 1 2. Check out the melody. Hotep Senohena Senut Itiren Ishaka Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is Science Destroyed the Black Hebrew Israelites. The chat is open to everybody, so take advantage. Let me see who's in the place to be. Now, we do have Texas Bama in the place to be. We have Kirk Jennifer, who wrote, "You're about to get flagged." Why am I about to get flagged? Who gave you that gift to predict the future? Are you a Hebrew Israelite? Are you down with the rape doctrine? Are you down with the pedophile doctrine that some of these camps have? Are you down with the Dalai Lama? Kissing boys on the mouth and asking them to suck your tongue? Those are just questions. I'm not accusing you. Usually people who say negative stuff about me, somehow, somewhere, they are cool with some rapists or pedophiles, child molesters. Even Donnie Williams is like, what? But Donnie Williams is in the place to be. Mr. East is in the building, in the place to be. Just got off work, I presume. Texas Bama is asking Kirk, are you about to flag the vid? Mr. East says he can. He or she, because, Jennifer, I mean, we have a male and female name. We'll have a mix. I think Kirked out. He's no longer in the chat. I don't know. Storm is in a place to be. Andrew Brunet is in the place to be. Love Mifro is in the place to be. Donnie Williams wrote, "Science is undefeated." Yeah, I don't know anybody that defeated science. V. Bennett is in the place to be. Hotep to you. Texas Bama wrote, "Oh my God, the Dalai Lama. Did you know that he apologized? His office apologized." There's some sense of decency in that insanity, man. David wrote, "Kirk Jennifer, you're a pedophile apologist." Hey, I didn't say. But trust me, you throw a rock, the dog that's hit, the dog that barks, is a dog that got hit. It never fails. It never fails. Love me for sorry, Love me for was telling Bennett that she saw him this morning. I'm still shocked over the Dalai Lama, man. Can you imagine the amount of stuff that he must have done over the years behind closed doors? He dog hollers. It's quicker. Should take a habit of just saying that. He dog hollers. 3 words. He dog hollers. You heard of the HOKKK, the House of Pedos. They're the same. You have, I don't know how many people who have something to do with rape, child molestation. You have JJ7000, who said that Tahaka Bay is silent as cousin. Tahaka Bay is a lifetime sex offender according to the paperwork that he showed himself, man. It's not slander. He showed it himself. I've played it already. If somebody hasn't seen it, I deliver upon request. Receipts for days. But anyway, I'm going to share the link early, actually. I want to show you. I've been showing for years. It's funny that Butler Reggie couldn't show that. I wouldn't expect that for idiots like Garfield or lames like what's his name, Robborn. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are lame. So, they don't know archaeology. They know archaeology, they would not be defending these Asiatic lessons. Here. You heard about an exhibit Paris, right? Ramses II exhibit, or exhibition if you prefer. Those are original artifacts. They may not give an exact date, but they will surely give a dynasty. Dynasty 20. So it's going to be over 1000 BC, that's for sure. So dynasties. Oh, no. Okay. I could give you Wikipedia, but if there is a entry on Britannica, that's better. Well, they have 19th dynasty. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to share good old Wikipedia. I'm sorry. Dynasty 20. I'm going to share the link in the chat. Our master is in the place to be here with good afternoon from NY. Thank you for telling where you're from. David Wood, I missed that. Did you say lifetime pervert? Oh, you missed it? Well, I will deliver. Just going to deal with that first. The 20th dynasty is from 1189 to 1077. So that's 3,000 years ago, man. See? So 3,000 years ago, this is how Asiatics look. That one here, that one here, and this one, I mean, it kind of looks like Gaddafi. It's Libyan. Now here is a Nubian. He's bound indeed. Just like the others are bound as well. A letter was intercepted where a Hyksos king asked the Nubians to allow themselves with them to go against Egypt. And they may have, the conflicts, it happens. So the reference, I'm sorry. So you can see that, okay, first of all, those are faience tiles. I've uploaded a video actually, and there's another video coming, but not soon, a bit later on, where you will see some other depictions of Asiatics. Those are original. This is called archaeology, something that, the HOKKK don't know about. They know how to make stuff up. They're just being lame, you know what I'm saying? So faience tiles, foreign captives portrayed on multicolored faience tiles emphasizes the king's dominion over his enemies and Egypt's regional powers. So the first tile is a representation of an Asian, maybe a Hittite, there's a question mark, captive, made of faience, New Kingdom, Dynasty 20, Egyptian Museum. You have the reference here, JE36457-D. This is something that those people on HOK, well, at least the Hebrew Israelites, can do. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the first one here. That would be an Amu. Amu is a generic term for Asiatic in Middle Nature. All right. So if you hold on. Next one here. Tile representation of a Nubian captive Okay, so that's established. Then Ty will representation of an Asian captive and then Libyan captive. Okay. Now, for the record, you need to look at the bottom part. Top part is in French. Don't try to read it. But the bottom part is in English. What is it? I can move this here. Okay. So let's go back to the artifact. Following me. Okay, sure. So another one here, which may be a Hittite. Okay. Then you have the other two, another Asiatic and a Libyan. So look at their phenotype, man. They've lied to you. I told you. Now there's a brother. Actually, he's called Gideon. Actually, he left a comment today. Talked about a black Hittite, man. Oh, my bad. My bad. No. No. It was JJ 7000 who talked about his friends who mentioned the black Hittite. Gideon was talking about Abraham's mother is Cushitic or something like that, but we dealt with that. So there's one thing I wanted to show you, but it escapes me. I know I wanted to show the Tahaka-based stuff. It may come back to me. Oh yes, there it is. Gideon. Let me tell you which video he left to come. It's the same dude who said I hate God. Good. It's an opportunity to show you what I've shared. I need to share first of all. Yeah. No, not here. Oh, we have some new designs, by the way. But we'll get to that later. So here it is. Somebody sent me this flyer, this back in the day flyer. You see the date? Thursday, November 17, 2013. 10 years ago, brothers and sisters. 10 years ago. It was supposed to be a debate. That comes from Polite in them, New Covenant. Here is a quote on the left. The Lord has no interest in Africa, nor does he love the Africans. According to the Hebrew Israelites. Who do you have at the bottom? ISUPK. Priest officer to Zariak. Wasn't captain then. So you see that quote there? Did I make it up? Is this Lander? We have the brother Shaka Amos when he had the lock on his head. And we have an imam that we don't really hear from anymore. So Gideon left that comment. He wrote, that's false, Ak. I mean, his whole doctrine is false, but that flyer apparently is false. So I told him, that's what the flyer says, because remember, I wrote the quote here. See? And I wrote according to the Hebrew Israelites, just like it says on the flyer. So I did not create anything. And I wrote, that's what the flyer says. Gideon, aren't you ashamed to go on Sas channel knowing that he called your God demonic and a bipolar mother effer? And of course, there's no reply. He ain't going to reply. He's ashamed like the rest of them. He needs to cap over there. It's the Israel, the black Hebrew Israelites never bring up when the elders thought about making up 12 charts. Well, I addressed that when I had the weigh-in with Cap into Zariak and the 12 tribe chart, something very recent. You know what I'm saying? He said out of his own mouth, roughly when he came about. And when I pointed that out, he started, tap dancing as usual, So he's not ashamed. He's more ashamed of you pointing it out to him. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, have they ever shown you some artifacts?
If they have shown you some artifacts, which artifacts have they shown you? Have they ever shown you some black Semites? They ever shown you some black Israelites? Main artifacts, and the main artifact and the most significant, you see, Mr. Israel never, they never showed Jack. They're the lamest dudes around. Ibn says no. Now, probably the most significant artifact that I've ever seen coming out of Canaan is the royal seal of Hezekiah with 2 arcs on it, man. Cut your so-called black Semites, man. It's a failure. And that's what I've been saying for years, because trust me, I have plenty of other artifacts throughout the years from different museums, and also in the video White Semites Black Awakening. But they don't hear me though. They don't like science. They don't like archaeology. They just want to be pseudo with that punk Butler Reggie who had the nerve to try to defend their claim of slavery in Kemet. Only to say that he doesn't have Jack. He was even refuted by Smash Rockwell. But anyway, somebody said that he didn't know about Tahakabe. See, I missed that. You say lifetime pervert? Not pervert, lifetime sex offender. Rocks and crystals in Fudishi shows what? Artifacts? It's very easy, but I will share the link. I think Reggie was kind of corroborating the claim that Mfudishi was dealing with, talking about aliens, but I haven't heard him from myself. Have anybody heard Mfudishi talking about aliens? Because Reggie never said anything negative towards Mfudishi, but he said so many things negative, so many negative things towards Jabari. That would be a double standard, you know. But then again, Reggie's pseudo. Reggie said that Ma'at is bird. He wrote it. And he said that Heru was Greek.
Yeah. Heard it. I mean, his pharaoh could have been a Greek, but I don't.
Well, I tell you what, Heru was Greek.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the stories of Heru being conceived is during the Greek time period.
I'm about to share the link of Senator's cousin according to JJ7000. I already played JJ7000 on tape saying that's his cousin. Sex offenders, is it how it works? And let's hear it from the horse's mouth. He said it himself. Huckabee read his own record himself.
News to me, but that thing that will follow, what he played that shit. But
all right, busy. Let's get registered sex offender. Here is the actual paper. Sorry for the way that it looks, because I've had it for a while and I've been saving it for my documentary. I've been saving it for my, and sorry for the way he said a registered sex offender. Here is the actual paper.
He said, here is the actual paper. For those who don't know him, that's the Huckabee, man.
Sorry for the way that it looks, because I've had it for a while and I've been saving it for my documentary.
Maybe he's going to read it, but at the top it says District Court of Maryland for Baltimore County. So that comes from the court. Initial appearance questionnaire.
Saving it for my documentary about my life. So what I want you to pay close attention to, all right? What I want you to pay close attention to, and I'm going to blow it up for you. What I want you to pay close attention to is that this is an initial appearance questionnaire, all right? I want you to pay attention to the upper right-hand corner. What's in that right-hand corner, there is a case number right there. Now, one of the problems with our people, Emily Ill of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh, say we would be okay if we knew how to read. Now, right there is a case number. Everybody, if you got your pens and paper, I want you to write down the case number. 2C00435157. There's a case number. But before you finish, let's go down. It's a questionnaire. All right? But we're going to go all the way down to what says record check, because many of you can't read. So I'm going to, you Nashidians can't read. You know what I mean? No, I don't have a rent. I don't know. No, it's all own. Somebody said no rent, LOL. No, because right there it says own. 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 Learn how to read, you Nashidianites. Now, let's go down to record check. I'm not going to let you distract me. Record check. So this is the district court record check. All right? This is the district court record check. Traffic, yes, they checked. Criminal, yes, they checked. All right? Now let's go all the way down here to registered lifetime sex offender. Yes, they checked it. It's the MOSOR. Okay?
He read it himself. So on that back.
Traffic, yes, they checked. Criminal, yes, they checked. All right. Now let's go all the way down here to registered lifetime sex offender. Yes, they checked it.
Yes, they checked it. Who said it? The guy said it himself. Somebody's going to say, oh, yeah, that's slander. Because, nowadays, people don't come forth and say, I'm this, I'm that. It's not convenient. It's not convenient. Who said it? He said it. Who said it? He said it. He says, damn. Who said it? He said it. Now, I share the link. Now, you want to hear JJ 7000 say that he's Sanetta's cousin? Should be in my community timeline. First thing, thanks to Kiddo Billy, which fine though, that I knew that. I should go directly to the brother's channel. Too long. I didn't share it. Or maybe I didn't share it. Okay, let's go to Kiddo B. Videos. Okay, maybe shorts then. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Listen to what JJ says.
Found it. Gonna share it. AJ 7000 saying that Aneta is Huckabee's cousin. Lifetime sex offender. That's what he said, right? Lifetime sex offender, right? I want to get the sentence right because they're going to say if I make a typo, saying, "Oh, it's not what the document said." You're lying on me. Yeah. So lifetime sex offender. Think, there's some people say some things run in the family. You have the link here. Now let's listen up.
Yes, he's mad because the pod was passed around. He's mad because his cousin Taharka Bay is making $2.99 goddamn videos. And
His what? His what? His what? His cousin. His cousin. Taharka Bay and Sa Neter are cousins. I said it. I did a couple videos the other day.
For those who didn't get it, for those who didn't catch it,
listen to what JJ says.
Yes, he's mad because the pod was passed around. He's mad because his cousin Taharka Bay.
His cousin Taharka Bay. You didn't have.
Oh, y'all see that? Y'all just getting up in here.
You didn't have the fake PhD of Sa Neter.
Oh, y'all see that? Y'all.
But hey, hold on. If I go down, is it the same? Nick?
Oh, y'all see that?
See the new Black Panther Party. Dr. Salik Quran, chairman of Manhattan NBPP. And it says Dr. Salik Quran. So I might as well, what I'm at, it put, Aneta's fake PhD. Now you understand why he's copying for Garfield, because he also came up with some fake credentials. Let me look at the chat here. Bennett is saying, but isn't it slander? Even if he says it, slander when they decide it's slander. I mean, they feel like they make the rules in their mind. Have to ask a stupid question sometimes just for clarity. Law. Imhotep University TV is in the place to be. Hotep Bro Shaka and the family. David Road, they said, hold on. They said from this day forward, he will be known. He will be known as of the nastiest move MFs. My wife just said it seems like every one of Santa's guests are his old cellmates. Oh, yeah. But Taka got charges on beating his ex. Wow. He's not the only one, JJ had charges for that as well. JJ had some, he was charged for some sexual stuff as well, but he was not convicted. So he was accused, but, was not convicted of that. These dudes all talk about each other and have the nerve to get mad about it spreading. Lord, why do men get upset when a woman is passed around before you? Toss your hat in the ring. Well, love me, bro. He had it first. Not to quote Ray J exactly, but he said he had it first, So I don't think he's mad about that. He's talking about Sa being mad. But, Sa got his groove back. The chick is back. But she's back as a moderator. I don't know anything else. I'm not concerned. But people have noticed her return. Didn't the police beat his behind for stealing what? For stealing copper out of rundown house? I don't know about that. If you want to steal copper, man, hey, by all means, he can do his thing. I'm not more worried about the lifetime sex offender. The Huckabee has been exposing people, man, for the longest, man. You want to have a glance. Yeah. That Derek Nasheed comes to pimping black woman. Like she wants to Huckabee and gets exposed as a scammer. Oh, he has a new song. Okay. Exposing them frauds. Okay. Billy Carlson be selling and telling our people anything. Let's take a deep, well, I don't know, a look. And, you know, Corey Holcomb, I mean, he has a right to address anything and anybody he wants. Michi X, zombies, all the information you need. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he's been going in. You know, he has a right to. Free country. But if you know to Huckabee, you know, just tell him, man, you know, serve these lifetime sex offenders, man. Get this. Brother Reggie gets dragged for playing conscious community what? Conscious community what? Games for Sanetta. That was a year ago. The butler was called out. Butler. Now, does anybody know Tahaka Bay? Should we go holler at him or something? Should we put up? No. It's not live right now, but as people do some lives on Instagram and TikTok as well. It's not live streaming, so yeah. Would have pulled up. So I like that one. You know, I was saying House of Clowns spelled with the K, but we'll have another nickname. Now, talking about Sai being mad. I said charged, not accused. Not well, being charged is being accused, brother. That's what it is. But I understand, you know, some people may say, you know, I accuse you or there's an accusation, but yeah, JJ had the charge. I showed it, you know, for sexual stuff. But what was your question initially? Let me go back. Yeah, but talk about got charges on beating his ex. Well, JJ 7,000, you know, he he was arrested for beating his lady, you know, not his ex, his current lady, but that was that. So I never exposed that. He made a whole live stream about that. Apparently 2 live streams, like over 48 hours, you know. Vice MVP Harris also talked about that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, say forever. Well, it's a lifetime sex offender. Unless you're talking about something else. That mean? HOK, House of Criminals. Somebody's gonna sing soon, man. Texas Bama goes, I used to like his show. Hey. Put up, yeah. Put up on him. Maybe he would just admit this stuff. I think he will bug dance, but doesn't hurt asking the question. Is it a coincidence in the power returns when he was in hot debate? Some people also sucker for love. Then, those who know, they know how to get the good timing. He did a 24-hour telethon when J.J. 7000 beat up his Nubian white. Oh my goodness. You're going to kill me, brothers and sisters. So I ain't said it. David said it. That's how I got to know about J.J. 7000. I didn't know about the dude before. That's how I was introduced to him by Sal. Oh, yeah. So, Hebrew Israelites, feel free to come and tell us how you feel when we're seeing that science is destroying your doctrines and your claims. How do you feel? I want to hear from you. Anybody else is welcome, even if you're not a Hebrew Israelite. It's the same for the black Muslims, you know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's probably less artifacts. We can clearly see the inhabitants of Arabia, but there are some. Hey, what's up, Heru? See, some people didn't know that, Tohaka Bay, who according to Judges 7000 is Sanita's cousin, people didn't know that he's a lifetime sex offender. Registered lifetime sex offender. He said it himself. I played it already. He read his own document. He read his own court document. So feel free, it can be a short one, I don't mind. It's been 47 minutes, so if it's an hour, it's good. I would really like to hear from this Hebrew Israelites, man. Science destroyed their doctrine, man. Those stars that I've shown, there's so many other artifacts of Asiatics. They've been lying and they're still lying today on survival mode, man. You see the white man following the white man's doctrine. How science did it? Break it down, Shaka. Well, very simple. You have that picture up? Why not show that picture? For the sake of it. That dude right there. General Yohana, he's not even following his own doctrine. Man. I shall not use the name of the Lord in vain. They are capping on the channel somebody who said that the God of the Bible is a liar, a narcissist, demonic, and a bipolar mother effer. But for those who haven't heard it, it never gets old.
There's nothing special about you because you following some spook ass God, some God who we know is narcissistic, who's demonic, who's a goddamn liar, who's bipolar. The God of the Bible is a bipolar motherfucker.
So you should see. There it is. Those ties, that's from the Ramesses II exhibit. So temporarily, it is in Paris. But it comes from the Egyptian Museum. And I have the reference of this artifact. You see the reference is here. Oh, but yeah, I thought that. The reference are at the bottom here. First tile is a representation of an Asian, maybe a Hittite. Now you need to read from the bottom row. The top row is French. Dynasty 20, that's over 1,000 years BC. So that's 3,000 years old. We have the reference. JE36457 / D, not slash dash B, D, sorry. D for Derek. Second one is representation of a Nubian captive. The third one is a representation of an Asian captive. And the last one is a Libyan captive. So we have the references. Actually, the reference is not all the same. 3 are the same, just the N. You have D, G, and A. And then the one of the Libyan is JE 36597-I. So if you go back to the tiles, this is what Asians look like 1000 BC, man. That's 200 years at least before Hezekiah's seal. Hope I didn't say a mistake. I hope I didn't say 2,000 years before. That's 200 years. At least 200 years before Hezekiah's seal. Somebody needs to explain to me how they look like that, and 200 years later, they end up black. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, over the years, I've been to so many museums, and at every opportunity, I show depiction of Asiatics. So science destroys the black Hebrew Israelites. When you ask them about Joe Biden race, they try to act stupid. When you ask who? The Hebrew Israelites? You can ask them about Katazar's race. They will really tap dance. General Yahana uses the Illuminati hand signals too. I don't really believe in this Illuminati hand stuff, personally. Illuminati handshakes, I don't believe in that. It's very strange, and I pray for all the civils to be exposed. He did pray for the destruction of Christianity and Islam, though. So when I see black Muslims on Sas channel, it's so funny, man, because the guys have the more airplay. They have on the ISUPK over there. But hey, some stuff wrong in the family. Enki told us what's up regarding, the Nikki lady. So I did not deny it. So I guess, since ISUPK have a member who was convicted, found guilty of child molestation, and, those of a faith that flock together. That's what they say. Nobody wants to get on the panel, though. I mean, dang, Hebrew Israelites, I know you guys are lame, but, at least try to give us some explanation or something. On that, the panel, you can just create and invent anything, and they're gonna clap. But at least show a little fight in you. Try to need a fight in you. Maybe you have depictions of Black Moses or something, man. Some Black Hebrews speaking to the Pharaoh. Throwing the rod that becomes a snake. You must have something. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear the Hebrews, like, they have artifacts for everything, man. Won't be long. Somebody said, well, we have an artifact showing the sea parting in two. Won't be long, man. When you ask them Israelites about the phenotype and you brought up Joe Biden, they try to say you couldn't tell because of that's teenager Yara. Teenager Yara saying you cannot tell somebody's ethnicity from his phenotype. So I asked Bichasa, when we look at Biden, or maybe I use Bill Clinton, can't tell his ethnicity. And then, I could play, but what's the point? But while we're at it, since people are shy this evening, let's go and have a look, man. So, where is it?
All right, hold on, Reggie.
Beach made Reggie.
Nothing for the community. Dude that you got right here, this dude right here, he ain't did nothing for the community. He ain't did a motherfucking thing for the community.
I did the same thing you did.
You ain't did shit.
All right.
When I hear people say, "Oh, you using profanity," I'm like, go eat a fat one and choke on it, man. Because you hear your elder Reggie, made is like 57 or something, supposed to be a teacher. So there's some things that it's only so long my passions can run, man. Now, you have the link here. Shaka Ndugu Kemet was too strong for the House of Consciousness. Now, Archer is saying what? Hotep Shaka, first time live question. Now we have B.Jesus. I would need to see your face to put you on the panel. His avatar is like Jesus, hands like that. No, I mean you can have a look here. See, but I'm waiting for him to show his. For those who don't know, that's a requirement to get on the panel. If you ever see me live streaming and you see people don't have their webcam on because they've showed it before and I know who they are. So what did the author say? I see you body bagging fools. How about educating the young modern Arabs who don't know Egyptian history? Well, you're talking about the a lot of people call them Arabs, yes. But what do you mean? I'm worried about educating my people mainly. From that exhibit, you're going to see some reproduction from the walls of Kemet. And you're going to look at the skin color and the phenotype of these individuals. Like I've shown for years in my video, Black Ancient Egyptians Part 1, Black Ancient Egyptians Part 2. And I don't know if BJ's is trying to use his webcam, but now it no longer has the avatar. And the ancient Egyptians did not have the same phenotype as the modern Egyptians. And that can be demonstrated very quickly. So they feel like, it's their thing. What can you do? Whenever you bring stuff like that, they feel like you want to take over their land, man. Kevin Hart just said some, and that's it. They wanted to ban him and all that, Now, Texas Bama wrote, I don't necessarily believe in the Illuminati either, but they all throw up the signs for a reason. No, I'm not saying I don't believe in the Illuminati, but, the hand sign. Sometimes, people, they shake hands and look, that's the Illuminati or Freemason handshake. And, or sometimes, somebody might, do something like The Rock. That Jay-Z goes like that and people go Illuminati. I'm like, man, you guys are so funny, man. But anyway, brother, the Hebrew Israelites are sadistic cult and no better than the KKK, if you ask me. Reggie is hurt. He been digital panhandling hard 2023. So, Jesus, you're just not going to use a webcam, brother? So here. Let's go to teenager Yara. Pastor Bennett in the chat, always asking 10,000 questions, never wants to get live. Another funny dude, but this is asking questions for like 5 years before he debates you. So Black Jesus, put back his other avatar, but okay, never mind. Because I'm worried that when I go through the window, then eventually he will put his webcam on. So that's why I wanted to check. But anyway, let's look for teenager Yara. Doesn't belong to any camp.
You're a heavy scholar, and I would like to see you on Reggie have a
teaching it. No, but I haven't. I was a student of hers, right? In the introduction.
He's a student of everybody, man. So
say that I think Jabbar
feel the same way. I think it's a great structure.
Right, based on phenotype, correct?
There it is. Spot on. Listen closely, brothers and sisters. Listen to this teenager Yara dude.
He challenged me, he backed down, but I still refuted his claims in writing, and the article is on my website. So I'll end there so I'm not too long-winded. I think you're muted, brother Yara.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now, brother.
Well, I got it. So great. So two things. I appreciate that. Before
You heard that? I got it. I got it. He was surely talking. He was probably talking to somebody. See, those guys by themselves, they ain't worth jack, man. You know, they ain't worth jack by themselves, man. You know.
Before I go any further, so you say you believe that all of the all of the Canaanites were white, right? Based on phenotype, correct?
Based on the data, the archaeological data, yes.
Okay, so you
not
completely
that alone, but go ahead, brother.
okay, so you completely disagree with what we know about the Elamite tribe, who were considered Canaanites. And it's that the Elamite tribe, who we know that Flanders Petrie, who's never been debunked on this topic, says that the Elamite tribe introduced the worship or the deity of Horus. They were also known as the Falcon tribe. They brought in the worship of Horus with them into ancient Kemet. So you would believe that Horus, or the deity, the worship of Horus from the Falcon tribe of the Elamites, who we know were in ancient Kemet, were not black people?
Well, you have black people who worship Allah. The people who brought forth Islam are not black people. The Greeks worship Horus as well. The Greeks are not black people. So if the
That's not what
Elamites
I
worship,
asked. But that's hold on.
yeah, no,
I understand, but that's not what I asked you, though. I
yeah,
asked
what you
you, do
asked
you
me is,
believe that the Canaanite Elamites were white people?
I believe that the Canaanites were white people, and we have depictions of them. We have artifacts, archaeological artifacts of them, and paintings as well, like the one in Beni Hassan. Now, them worshiping Horus does not make them black, because the Greeks also worship Horus. It doesn't matter who they worship, you know.
Well, the Greeks worship Horus because they came in and acculturated the Kemetic culture.
Yes,
right? So they didn't create that. So my next question is, and I'll just move
hold on,
on.
brother. The Elamites did not create that either, because Kemet had dominion on parts of Canaan, and I think you know that, right?
Well, they had some parts of Canaan were vassal states to ancient Kemet, but specifically the Elamite tribe, or the Falcon tribe, we don't necessarily see that. But I'll move on from that. So are you postulating that ancient Kemet had no system of slavery?
I'm not aware of that. And if you are aware of that, then please show us.
I mean, are you? I asked you a question. Are you saying? So you're saying you have no knowledge of that? So
maybe the part where I was going to ask about the phenotype will come after. Well, most likely it will come after. So I will fast forward a little bit. Somebody put in a comment, Domo 1 would phenotypic classification is considered pseudoscientific. Remember that next time they call some pseudo. I mean, you know, they can type whatever they want. Hey, Neo X, it's been a minute. I put up Jackie Chan, somebody that looks like him, you know, and I tell you, he's Senegalese. There's gonna be a problem here, you know what I'm saying? It's not complicated, but
brings that on ancient entry. Well, actually, an ancient.
What you think is a belief, but I've shown
bringing sources.
Fine.
So Yara, are you saying? I'm asking you. Do you agree to the teachings that the Israelites were enslaved in Kemet, and they
Syrian weren't enslaved, ruling, right? Full in regards. I'm not you. You said it in.
Hold on, you gotta let them speak, Yara. You gotta let them.
The claim that it was.
Oh, I don't have.
But I want to say one thing.
Let them get it out.
Okay, well, yes, if you don't mind, Reggie. Now, you said some great falsehood, but white people existed during that time, and we have plenty of depictions of them. Okay, Senator, please show my screen again. This is the standard of.
Yeah, you're gonna show me a picture of the Gutians. You're gonna show me the
Gutians. White people, this is the standard of all time.
First thing I want to let the beefs and fighting is all my problem with
that for a while. It's not.
That's when he said that, you know, somebody went and slept at his house. Same person he publicly accused of molesting a young child. But anyway, I'm looking for the part about the simple question about the phenotype.
Speaking with Sensei Goody,
of that we work
Reggie, man.
On what they said they like. We think he said.
Never mind. Major Yara is a neophyte, you know. Some guys like that, you know what I'm saying, they finish paying their mortgage and then they want to talk that black talk, you know what I'm saying. Black Jesus is a coward. You said it. Oh, Lord. Was the same Black Jesus that treated you horribly? No. And that was Pastor Bennett. Now, Black Jesus, I don't think that was Black Jesus minister who was trying to get on, because I presume he would use his normal username, So, but he apologized though, I have a written apology. Have you ever heard of Phenotype of Baltimore? I heard. They had Brother Onk shook. Bobby Banger's been real shook since. See, that's Neo X. Hey, Shaka, what you been up to? See, putting my foot on the pedophile's neck, and Neo X. I think you've seen the video I did about the Dalai Lama kissing a young boy, sticking his tongue out and asking the young boy to suck his tongue. Have you seen that? I'm talking too loud. 212. Kind of talking loud, actually. It's because of the earphone. But anyway, he's melting Yar's face. Look at him, he's sweating. Yar is funny, man. He's a funny dude. All Black Hebrews are really funny, but some are more integrity than others. But as long as they claim that the Canaanites are black, then they are funny. I'm sorry. Dang. I've shown the artifacts. What have they shown? Cat in the Hat is a real book wrote by a real person, but the story isn't true. UX. So hey, if you want to come on. Otherwise, I can wrap it up. Get on the panel. But science destroys the Black Hebrews or like crimes. Science, archaeology. They don't really know. Now they will claim, or they say, "Oh, the book shows this. Oh, we have the book shows that." Ask them to show it. They ain't gonna show you jack. They ain't gonna show you jack, man. They ain't gonna show you jack. See, the Black Hebrews are like this. Some people that figure, well, I'm saying, before Christianity had Judaism, so I might as well just claim to be a Black Jew. So, unless like I'm the original. That's all. Oh man, we wrote off the Bible, man. But in Greek. Listen to them. They tell you they go by the King James version of the Bible. A homosexual goes against that doctrine. They're all over the place. Plus, what do they teach? Many of them teach what? So, not that one. That one.
I'm going to tell you why, because I'm an Israelite and Tazariak Israelite. And I think his doctrine is off compared to what we teach. We both had the same mission, but he's telling the Israelites it's okay to mix race, right? He's telling that they got a doctrine saying that if a child reached a flower, they could be 15 or 9 years old, you can have sex with them.
Okay,
this is what they
now
teach.
You talk about running.
And they have Edomites in their camp. Maatist, Hotep. Check this out. It works. So, Hotep, no, hi. What do you mean? You're a French speaker, aren't you? Maybe you came on before. Why do you put Hotep, no hi? The only source is the Bible. That's the main source. Oh, there it is. But is that really the brother? Let me hear the voice.
Yo, what's up, Shaka?
Okay, so that was you earlier? Can you hear me? Yeah, Hotep, brother.
I mean, I thought I would catch you slipping, man. I thought I would catch you slipping, I was going to give you a lesson, man, an Israelite lesson.
Oh, but go ahead. Feel free. I'd like to hear it, brother. But if you can back up with, you can back the lesson with some archaeological data, it'd be good. But go ahead, do your thing, man. Let's hear how they
Yeah.
teach, man.
Yeah. Oh, whoa,
Read.
that's you asking a whole lot now. See, I was I was about to break you off something, but now I see my material is going to be limited. I'm going to be drawing from a limited stash since it's got to be archaeological evidence. But
No, go ahead. Guys.
but
Forget
no,
about it. Just so we can hear how the Hebrews get down. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna try to educate them, man. I'm gonna hit them to some Hebrew stuff. Okay, Matthew 13:33. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until all of it was leavened. 44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then, then, then his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Can you tell me what that means?
I don't even know, man. But I can put the New International Version, and
oh my God.
Maybe we have more clarity. So where is it? New International Version. Last one was 44. I like when he does that here.
Yeah.
44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in the field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. I don't even know what it means,
man. Yeah, apparently this is about the soul, man. This is about the soul. Yeah, apparently. And this is, if I'm correct, this is borrowed from Kemetic traditions, because the Hebrews didn't have this before they encountered the Kemites. They didn't have a concept of a soul. So that's what I wanted to talk to the Hebrews about today. But as you can see, they didn't chime in, man.
Yeah, but they know where they can be sued for days. So on that scam cheddar Esplano, the house of criminals, the house of clowns, the house of peddlers. They know very well that when they come here, they need to be scholarly, and even if they don't necessarily come here, whenever I come around, we all seen what happened with Black Jesus Minister, you know what I'm saying? And they're used to that, they used to just read the Bible, and they don't deal with archaeology, they don't deal with data, they don't deal with record. A lot of time they don't deal with logic. They came up with this 12 tribe chart, and they feel like it's something scientific. There's not a single scholar, to my knowledge. And when I say scholar, that's a PhD. That talks about this 12 tribe chart like it's something of value, like it's something real. Right. Stick to that subject. We never heard that
is something unique.
The 12 tribe chart.
Yeah, or that's unique. Yeah, that is
it's
completely
pseudo.
Unique.
It's pseudo. It is unique, like Reggie saying that Heru is Greek, or like Reggie. I'm talking about the Butler Reggie right now.
Yeah,
Butler Reggie saying that Maat is a bird. It is unique. It is pseudo. And that's the thing. In 2023, we have some group of people, and I guess because they are numerous, and they're all pseudo together, they feel like, okay, we're strong. We're all sticking together, being pseudo, and we're going to get somewhere. But it's just whack. It's just really whack, and they are fooling themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I wish they would consult some scholars. They don't have to consult me. They can consult some scholars to help them to step their game up. You know what I'm saying? Because what's sad is that the dude teenager Yara. You have people with gray hair, and they are the way they are pseudo teenagers to be pseudo like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Maybe in your early 20s, but you can't be, having a gray beard and gray hair and then spitting pseudo stuff and acting like you're teaching somebody anything. But hey, that's how they've been getting down for years. And we can see they're not there. Many people know what's up. You know, they can come any day, all day, every day, but it's always the same. They never show up. You know, to be defending rapists and
Yeah,
pedophiles.
it's sad. It's yeah, exactly, and I think that's the main reason why that's the reason why they use that religion. It's a
Yeah.
cover for something else. It's not really something they believe in. I don't, because if they did, they would defend it, you know. And I think the moment they realize, that's when they just go the opposite direction, because they don't have an answer for it, you know.
Look at
So
this, brothers and
yeah,
sisters. Sorry to interrupt you, brother Bennett. I received a 100
Mhm.
euro super chat, and it says strength to you. Merci. Dua. Go ahead, Bennett. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, man, that's yeah, that's it says strength to you. Okay, that's how you say strength in French, courage.
Courage, ouais. Courage à
Is that
toi.
how you say it?
Courage à toi. Yeah,
Courage.
it's the
Okay, I didn't know
same
that.
English
Okay.
word, but we pronounce it courage. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I
Okay,
would
okay.
say,
No, literally that's courage. But in English, you know, courage to you, you know, it's more like strength to you. But you know, it's like may
oh,
you
the
have
saying is
courage.
more like
Yeah,
strength
it's
to you.
literally it's
Yeah, I
courage to
got you.
you, but it's like more like, you know, may you
Right.
have courage. So I translated, you know, I use the word strength, you know, but yeah, it's
Strength to
literally, yeah,
you.
you're correct.
Yeah,
That's courage.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you had that, man. You have had some strength to you, Shaka. And believe it or not, for a lot of the people that listen, it's not easy to challenge these folks, because these folks are used to doing underhanded stuff to anybody that challenges them. And I think in that case, you've been a benefit, Shaka, being in France, that they can't really, utilize all of the normal means that they might utilize somebody in New York. I mean, look, you see how it's hard for even somebody to speak up against Africa Bambaataa and have that identity known in New York, to the extent that, yes, that person's identity has to be concealed. I mean, that person's identity is concealed because, of course, their life will be under threat, you know, and when that becomes normalized, it's a sad thing. You don't see people speak up. You don't see people challenge, and I guess they don't have an option to do that with you. And so, the rest of us, we have a benefit of seeing somebody stand up against it, seeing someone speak out against it, seeing somebody show an example that, you know what, there really is nothing you can do. And I hope more people understand that, because the more people that do stand up, the more weaker that these types of people will be seen. Their real weakness will be seen. It will become more obvious that they don't really have a pot to piss in. They don't really have any strength or any power to go around. All they have is the power of fear, the mental fear, the idea that you think they have power, and they might have a little threatening power, but once enough people stand up, you'll realize it's not that much. Actually, it's not that much, you know.
When I think about Scam Cheddar saying that Layla Wills fight and Hassan Campbell's fight is all fake. It's so horrible, man. But let me just say this quickly. Mathis, si jamais tu as des questions, n'hésite pas. Hein. Je peux traduire, pas de souci. Go ahead, Bennett.
Oh no. Yeah. So that Matisse, where's Matisse from? Is it they from France, or they French, or they in France, or they
Well,
from another country?
I don't know where he or she is, but by the name, the way it is spelled, I could tell it was a French speaker, because we have that little accent on the second A. But that's a
Yeah.
French speaker. I don't know where the person is. I didn't really bother to ask.
Okay.
If he or she want to say, oh well, apparently he or she is a English speaker as well. You mind telling us where you're from, Martis? If you're in America and you don't want to say the city, you can just say the state if you want. But then
They said euros, so that they're probably in Europe, right?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. You're in the place to be. Yeah, Mr. East. But it's true. But you have these crews, these types over there in some European cities also.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. Aha, yeah. Okay, there you go. Luxembourg. Yeah. There's a lot of it's interesting for African Americans in the US to realize how many African descent there are in Europe. That we don't talk a lot about that in the US, but for the people that is listening, it's over 7 million in the EU, over 7 million. And I think that data was taken almost 10 years ago. So it could easily be double at this point. It
7
could be
million?
closer to like 10 million.
I'm sure it's
That was 10 years ago, 7 million, my friend.
Yeah.
7
The
years.
thing is
Yeah,
that
10 years ago
yeah.
almost. Yeah. It's a lot. But now it's probably more than that. It's probably many more. I mean, the numbers change every year. They I don't want to make it sound like it's increasing, but because that population is still small, relatively small than all other groups in Europe. You see what I mean? That's still like for example, in Denmark, that's the smallest population. That's so I'm sure it's the same. I'm not sure how big of the population that is, like percentage in France, but in Denmark, even the overall foreigner population is like less than 9%, and black people is probably not even 1% of that.
Oh,
You see, Georgia,
well, in
Senegal,
England,
okay,
in England,
yeah.
there's like a 2 million people of African descent in England
Okay.
alone. But okay, Nangadef, that's all I know how to say. But there's a fair bit of similarities between the Wolof and the Mother Nature, as Dr. Shakanta Diop has shown, and the other brother. But you wouldn't be the brother that we spoke to that took the flight. Is that you? Oh no, that brother was from Le Havre in France. Okay. All right. But I think it's the first time that I have somebody from Luxembourg. You pronounce it Luxembourg in French. I mean, that basically stated it, because not everybody say where they're from. Mr. Easy is from Georgia, but Macon, Nagadev. Okay, that's Damasa. Macon, isn't it? Hold on.
Mr. East Macon, Georgia. They're talking about Atlanta, Georgia, as in like Atlanta, Georgia, USA, or what? Or Georgia as a country?
Macon. No, Georgia in America.
Okay.
I don't know if the land Tamari was over there. But maybe no, maybe around but Macon. Yeah, wow, Matisse wrote a new Diop. All right. Well, that's interesting. You should share that with us, man. You should share that with us. You should, and you know what? Look, if you don't want to show your face, if you don't want to show your face, okay, I'll make an exception. Man. Tell us about Diop, man. Free. Now, the master is originally from Aruba. So Aruba, that's an island, right? But where is it? Aruba. Oh man, it's in the middle of
South America, Caribbean.
In the middle of not
Caribbean islands.
Okay, it's close to Venezuela. Okay, it's near Curaçao.
Yeah, exactly. Close to Venezuela.
But is it? It looks maybe it's bigger than Bermuda. Hey, James Powell, if you hear us, man, I don't know how you're doing, man. I hope you're doing well, brother James Powell. Just feel free to say what's up. Chat is open to everybody, so if for example you would have stopped your subscription, and you can see leave a comment right now. But my artist, if you don't mind, if you're in the mood, feel free to get on the panel and tell us about Diop. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to show your face. I'll make that exception, man. Yes, Damas Caribbean. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, always feel free to tell us where you are from. Even if you said it before, just so that people can see that we have people from all around. For those who don't know, I live in France now. I was born in France. I grew up in France. I lived in England for a few years and then came back to France. And go ahead, Bennett. You wanted to say something. Alto is from Vegas.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, if I forgot to change my name back. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, so if an African American comes to France, for example, what community of people would they hang out with? What would they expect to encounter if they came to France, didn't know anything? And the reason why I'm asking, because it's obvious those House of Consciousness people, they've never had that journey. So, which is probably why they have some difficulty with you. But in reality, if a person, an African American like myself, arrived in Paris, what could I expect the reception to be like among the African population or Black population?
Well, that ain't gonna be no problem. You know what I'm saying? The only main difference will be the language, but many people speak English in France, so can chop it up. Talk is cool. It's nothing special, nothing particular. Now, Mercy Maxwell wrote, Shaka, I've been trying to reach you, brother. Didn't we communicate on Facebook, brother? Because your name rings a bell. I think you paid for a Metal class, but somehow, some way, you never made it. Am I correct? Now, my artist wrote, physically, I am your twin brother. And he wrote, I'm 63. That's my artist. So, Mercy Maxwell, I've been, if I'm not mistaken, I've sent you several messages. I never got any reply, but I'm glad you're here, And that was maybe 2 years ago. At least
It's
over a
actually
year
good you
ago.
open the chat up, man, sometimes.
Yeah, every now and then, I should try to do that more often, I'm saying.
That way, because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to write to you.
Now, Arthur wrote, hopefully better than Malcolm X's reception. That was the authorities. The authorities stopped Malcolm X from getting there, but that was the second time. He came in the first time, you know what I'm saying? The second time they didn't let him in. That's the government. It was nothing to do with me or Black people in general in France, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that he better mentioned that because the people from the headshot KKK, most of them they never even left America. I'm saying, and it's not something they're not at fault for that, but a lot of them they don't really know what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying?
They act like it.
Yeah, they act like it. Yeah. Shaka, have you watched
they
it?
need to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, put that back.
Yeah. No Name wrote, have you watched the 1804 Haitian Revolution film by Tariq Nasheed? What did you think about it? I bought Tariq Nasheed's books when I lived in England, and when he started talking, negatively about African people and Caribbean people, including Haitians, I stopped listening to the dude. And he used to say Hotep N-word. He's the main guy who brought that fashion, that trend, let's say. So no, I didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying? No, is FBA. I mean, I don't mind if somebody has FBA stance, but I think a lot of people don't know how many times he disrespected Africans and Caribbeans and Haitians. He's been very vicious about it. It's like a Black Trump now, So no, I did not watch his stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, brother, I came from France. Remember, I have a daughter in Toulouse. I came to France. Oh, so that's Rohan. That's Rohan, right? I have the same number. Is that you, Rohan? And now they portray Makenda Desalegn in Tucson. And how they put, oh no, I didn't watch the documentary, so So is that you, Rohan? Yeah, exactly, Rohan. Yeah, I have the same number, brother. Have you changed your number? Oh, Kimberly, how you doing? I saw you earlier. I'm not a fan of the FBA movement. It's dangerous. Yeah. I think the HOKKK is more dangerous because they they have convicted rapists and convicted pedophiles. I mean, convicted child molesters. But now, Rohan, I'm gonna try your number now. I'm gonna put myself on mute. But go ahead, you bet.
Oh no, I was gonna say, the where I've been, a few of the countries in Europe. I mean, I've never had any type of bad reception from any PADs. It's always been good, positive reception. Um, like just like I would get anywhere else in the US. It's like for me, it was like going from DC to New York. Cats from New York know people from DC. It wasn't anything strange, and people in Europe know African Americans too. So the population here, they were basically the same. It wasn't any that was the easiest, quickest transition to make. The more difficult transition was into the broader society, because then of course you got to learn a foreign language. Everybody here is speaking English. For example, in Denmark, when you go to Italy, a lot of people are speaking English too in Italy, even though they want, if you stay there, they want you to learn Italian. But a lot of people speak English there, so that it wasn't a big gap with the black population. A lot of black people in Europe speak English. You speak English pretty well, Shaka. I mean, now encountering a French person, they may want you to speak, put the pressure on you to learn the language even more, which you probably would do if you live somewhere. You will learn it eventually, but that was the overall challenge for me, not just the language, but learning the culture of the broader society. The African culture, there was no difficult understanding it. Here in Denmark, some of my closest friends outside of African Americans are Ghanaians, Senegambians, right? Senegambians, because they could be from, they might have family on both sides, right? Where else? Somalis, a lot of Somalis here in Denmark, and they're the largest group actually. And there's never been any type of issue when I first wanted a job or I needed information. Always go to these groups and always could get helpful information. Kind treatment, warm treatment. So I think those kind of stories help dispel some of the FBA story, because a lot of us used to, we used to fulfill that same purpose for some of the diaspora when they came into America, and a lot of us still do, right? In different ways. Maybe it's not always about something medial, like can you help me get a job? Maybe it's just about information. How do I get in contact with this office when I'm having this kind of issue? Or, it could be any kind of things to help facilitate some type of transition or need. It may not always be about where do I find an apartment, or or where's the discotheque. It may not be those kind of simple things all the time, but yeah, man, I mean, I think a lot of those HOK, they would benefit from just taking getting a passport if they can, and taking a trip and see the reception themselves, man. They might find out that not only is the reception positive, but they could get rid of some of the negative feelings they have about their own blackness in America for a change, because that could be a burden, that could be a weight on you when you always expect something to be the exact same way, and then when you travel and you realize, wait a second, everything's not exactly the same all the time, and now I don't always have to think this way about something. I can, be a little more open to something a little bit different, a slightly different experience, yeah, man. So that's been my experience anyway, man.
Yeah, there's no issue, man. In America, you hear people say, "Oh, Africans don't like us," stuff like that. They'll be tripping too much. Let me just say, Rohan, or let's say Mercy Maxwell, please get on the panel. It's okay if you don't show your face, man, because that brother, 10 years ago, actually 13 years ago. Oh, well, actually, no, it's more 12 years ago, 2011. Because the whole 2010, I was down with the Army Squad until it started being, weird and defending anti-black and anti-African teaching. So from 2011. Oh, Young Hero was in the place to be. How you doing, Young Hero?
Yeah, what's going on, Safran?
Oh, chilling, man. You know, there's a brother. I was talking about a brother, Mercy Maxwell. I knew him as Rohan, and in 2011, when I had the Block Talk Radio, he was there. He was calling like almost every day, really. You know, so he heard what happened, you know, with the squad and many other people. So, you know, I told him, you know, please get on the panel. You know, I told him, you know, he doesn't have to show his face, you know, because you know, like a decade ago, you know, he saw what was going on. So I would love him to just speak to the people and tell him, you know, some of the stuff that was going on back then. You know what I'm saying? But he's seen the whole thing, you know, with the squad, you know, how they were defending the Asiatic black men lesson that's anti-black and anti-African, particularly. And you know, actually, he says I've watched you from the beginning. But please get on the panel, brother. Just you know, so people can hear your side of the story about what you witnessed, you know, 10 years ago, man. I would love that, man. But how you doing, young hero? What's good with you, man? Did you see the artifacts I showed?
Yeah. I was just going to ask you. So you were showing that the AGF people that they captured was
Yes.
Caucasian, right?
Always, I would say. I wouldn't say Caucasian, because if you say Caucasian, it means from the Caucasus Mountain. But when I say Caucasoid, even though it's not a term that's in use today, but basically, you know, white skin. But you know, nowadays our people, when you say white, they think German, they think Swedish. You know what I'm saying? They can't fathom, you know, a white person having a tan. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
Yeah,
people. Go ahead, brother.
yeah. Yahweh was the God of those same people, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, Yahweh is a yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, like like I said, all these black people that think they got away, they just run into another, other people religion basically. But yeah, man, because like Benita mentioned Italy and off the northeast coast of Africa, it has a little place called, like it's like Africa, Italy. I saw something on it earlier because when the Italy people had
Hold on, young
info
hero, young hero. I apologize. I have a brother with some Phoenician writing. Some people will call it, you know, Hebrew or whatever. But just so that you know, brother Sosa, I wonder if you are cool with that as well, because many Hebrews or Israelites don't even respect their own God. So just for the record, it's only 15 seconds long.
There's nothing special about you because you following some spook ass God, some God who we know is narcissistic, who's demonic, who's a goddamn liar, who's bipolar. The God of the Bible is a bipolar motherfucker.
Yeah, sorry about this one here. Go ahead, brother.
Nah, I was just saying, yeah, I saw a thing earlier about when the people it still have the identity of Italy people, even if it's black people. But one time they was over there and they was raping the women and everything. So it just show you that all these people once upon a time had tried to conquer different places in Africa, So a lot of them, some of their people still over there from generations after. They watered down because they got mixed up with the Africans. So everybody's everybody now.
True, man. A lot of Italians, they in Eritrea, they try to make strong. They have some strongholds in that little axis, like between Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia. Then before they got kicked out by the British and the Americans in World War II.
Hold on,
But
hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on. By Black Americanism, road saying Black Hebrew Israelites is implying that they are white Israelites too. But the Israelites, the original Israelites,
yes,
they are white people, white skinned people. The Canaanites were white, just for your information. So the reason why I put Black Hebrew Israelites so that people know what we're talking about. Talking about those guys who talk about the 12 tribe chart and making stuff up as they go. Also, an Israelite just destroyed the top Kemetic dude in the debate, so nothing was destroyed. That's not what I heard. You know what I'm saying? But Pan-Africanism, pro-Black Pan-Africanism, do you share the same view that God of the Bible is demonic.
There's nothing special about you because you following some spook ass God, some God who we know is narcissistic, who's demonic, who's a goddamn liar, who's bipolar. The God of the Bible is a bipolar motherfucker.
Every time I turn, you know, the Hebrew Israelites are not there, man. I wonder why, man. The Hebrew Israelites, they have more respect for Side Cheddar than their own God, man. But go ahead, Bennett. Sorry about this.
Nah, man, it's true. They got more respect for somebody who curses their God out than for a person who doesn't. I don't say things like that. I don't say things like that, even if I don't believe in their view of that religion or that history that they try to insinuate exists. Even if I don't agree with it, I don't speak down about their religions in that way. I don't find it necessary. But you have Sonetta, he just straight out and call you a hoe. Call your religion any goddamn thing.
You know,
he doesn't care, and they be right over there on the panel the next day trying to debate Jehovah. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Sonetta. Well, Bennett,
be right there the next day. You know,
you gotta understand. Sonetta speaking based on their own book. So if you say that, I don't disagree with Sonetta on that one. I tell you that much. So even if I don't, you know what I'm saying, I ain't riding with him. But if you read the book, a lot of things this guy is doing in the book, and you know, even putting curses on people and all that. That's why they use that narrative to enslave a lot of black and brown people in the world. So it's just saying, man, like, yeah, it's true.
I wouldn't call him a bipolar mother effer. You know,
right? That's all I'm saying.
You know,
exactly.
That's his definition, man.
Yeah, you see, black American, pan Black Americanism. I mean, are you are you some new form of FBA type of dude? You know what I'm saying? I hope you know the 5%er. I hope you know the 5%er I'm thinking of. But he wrote, "I'm not about to play that game with you." What game is this? Is a game?
There's nothing special about you because you following some spook ass God, some God who we know is narcissistic, who's demonic, who's a goddamn liar, who's bipolar. The God of the Bible is a bipolar motherfucker.
Now, so you believe there are no white Israelites? What about Kataza? Is he a black dude? You guys amuse me, man. People curse you a god. You don't have no respect for your gods. You don't have no scholarship. I mean, what do you stand on? What do you stand on? You know what I'm saying? What do you stand on, man?
Shalom.
Is Kataza black?
But he asked that question like it's fact. As far as I know, the only place these Hebrew Israelites come from is from that doctrine. So
True.
I mean, like, you know, so is there records of these people actually existing and having civilizations, Shaka? These Hebrews and Israelites.
You know why?
In
history, you know why I know?
Go ahead.
Well, I would say the reason why I know is because these people, they don't even want to examine that part. They don't want to think that they existed, as human beings on Earth before that religion.
Yeah,
they don't want to do that.
I even heard Sadie say they're not even real because it's not even it was never a written language or something like that.
Exactly. It's a lot of stuff. Yo, listen.
Hold on. I'm sorry. He wrote, "I'm not associated with ISUPK, so that doesn't bother me." Aren't you a black Hebrews alike? Aren't you an Israelite? What are you, brother? Why don't you get on the panel, man? I can see you running right now. You know what I'm saying? And he wrote, they need to work that out. What about you? The fact that I put the title, you came on saying, you wrote, saying black Hebrew Israelites is implying that they are white Israelites too.
But why can't there be? I mean,
that's in their mind. In their mind, the Israelites are only black people. That's why they have the term Edomite. That's in their mind. It's not scientific.
If you have the right to believe,
I understand. I understand if he's scared. Most of them are scared. So I understand if you're scared.
If you have the right to believe something, then why doesn't someone else have that same right? You can't believe in something and then deny another person the same right to a belief.
And we ain't trying to believe nothing. We're trying to get down to the facts and the science, Bennett.
And see, Donnie Williams wrote, you just made that up. You know what I'm saying? But are there any, Hebrew Israelites who are not scared? You know what I'm saying? Because damn, it's 2023. You still hiding and stuff like roaches. Where you at, man? In the comments, they're liver than a mofo. On other pseudo channels, they're liver than a mofo. But when it's time to just have a dialogue with me, not even a debate, they ain't here. Look at this wordplay here.
Crackers on one of them white guys that kissed the Israelite boots and think he going to have a good place in heaven.
Now, look at this. Look at this. The guy is changing the narrative now.
He's
changing the subject now.
now.
Strangers were allowed into the fold as long as they believed in worship. Hero, there are scholars that suggest Egypt wasn't black until the 25th dynasty. What is your point? I asked you a question, you didn't answer. Don't change the subject. You see, I mean, we can talk about anything, but at least have the courtesy to reply. You know what I'm saying? Kataza. Is he black? and what are you? Are you Israelite? How do you feel about cursing your God, saying that your God is demonic? That he's a bipolar mother effer. How do you feel about that? You cool with that? You gonna go on this channel later on or tomorrow?
and
Don't you respect the Most High? Go ahead, you Bennett.
And because he's black, does it make it okay that he could say that? Is that the reason why it's okay? I'm just curious about that. Like, or would it be wrong if it was a white person who said that?
Nah, ask him, do we know his God is not the creator of all?
I'm gonna do better, man. He's gonna have to get on the panel or send somebody to get on the panel because I ain't gonna do no chat debates, man, or chat discussion. So, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to gather some courage or get somebody else to get some courage. It's 2023 now. Come on, man. I'm disappointed at you Hebrew Israelites for real. Man. You've seen the title. I shared the link way before it started. You're always live and in the mofo, man. And you in here, with the guy that curse your own God, man. He cursed your own God. Bipolar mother effer. And you all crawl over there. And you all act like you don't see. Now, Gorilla Hebrew said his mama the devil because she white. I saw that in the title, man. And he's of Haitian descent, That's how far some of them will go, man.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. So Kataza is not. But hey, it's a different camp, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man. That's sad. That's really sad because you don't choose who your parents are, man. You don't choose what you're born into. You don't choose how you're born into the world. You choose what you do with yourself once you are able to get up and move around. And you find that out. I mean, nobody knows what they're born into. Nobody knows that. Most of these concepts and ideas, they're foreign ideas. I mean, they're foreign ideas. These are ideas you have to learn. You have to learn. You learn your identity. It's not something you're really born with knowledge of. You have to be shown and learn it on the way, and sometimes your parents tell you, but sometimes your experience tells you. But without that experience, you don't have it. So, it's kind of they take that stuff too far, and then on the flip side, they don't never stick to nothing, because how can you have one black Hebrew Israelite who said, or one person who says something about this dude's mama being the devil, and then the next one got two parents that's like that, and he's perfectly fine. It's like, what is going on, man?
That's just ignorance, man. For somebody, I don't know what kind of relationship he had with his mother, but for somebody to say something like that, I mean, you know where you come from. You came out your mother tell you who you are. So no, you just later down the line, you're going to read a book and tell you who you are. to the point to disrespect your own mother and all kind of nonsense because of race and color. They don't understand that's what the book was meant to do, to separate and have destruction amongst people so they could conquer and rule. And that's why these people don't understand. They have they the loudest mouth to talk, but they just the average man living in the white man system. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no kings of nothing. You know what I mean? So all that biblical talk, man, is fantasy, you know what I'm saying? And in the real world, everybody have to go get $1 to feed their children. That's what it is.
Yep.
I never
Exactly.
saw that wordplay before. Miserable lights, man.
Yeah.
Now, come on now. You know some of them. Teenager Ra and all the rest of these dudes. You know what I'm saying, man? Call them. You know what I'm saying? Tell them I'm calling them out. I'm not cursing them. I'm just calling them out. You know what I'm saying? We know Robon is the runner, track runner like he's homie Garfield. We know Reggie is a butler. We know Onk is a no-show and a runner as well. Some of you are going to step up to the plate, I presume, because you're all live in the mofo on all these other platforms. You know what I'm saying? And after I upload the video or after the live streams are over, I see you in the comments, man. Why don't you come live and just, let's have that talk, man. Where you at, man? I'm disappointed at you, man. Your Hebrews lights, man. Where you at? That shows you the craziness of the doctrine that it will allow and encourage you to disrespect your mother. Hey, man.
That's crazy. And you know what? It's like, where do they see that in the doctrine? That's what I'm curious about. Like, do you know that, Shaka? Because I'm gonna be quite honest with you, man. I'm not I'm not that versed in the Bible or the Quran. I've read these things before and I've referenced them sometimes, but to be honest with you, I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that when you're reading these things and then you just look at African history and then you even put Kemet into focus. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that somebody's borrowing some things and acculturating some things from something before it. You know what I mean? and also that some of the things in it are horrible. You should be able to pick up a book. It doesn't matter who wrote the book. Even if your parent wrote the book and it says something in it that's horrible, that goes against your core values, you should be able to distinguish what that is and put that part aside. So I know I'm not I'm not a believer in Christianity, Judaism, or Islam because they have some horrible things in it that I don't stand for, that I feel are immoral, that just go against my core values. So having said that, I never stuck to it. I never stuck to those things, so tell me, where is it in that Judaic belief where it says that if your mother is white, that you're not an Israelite?
Yeah,
But to my knowledge, nowhere, but they have interpretation. They talk about Edomites. They use that term for white people, just like some Moorish people use the term Abian. Well, at least back then they used to.
Once they white, that's it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's something they made up. That's something they made. Most of the stuff they teach is made up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when a guy like him comes in the picture, they're all in their feelings. They don't need to, you know what I'm saying, hide under the skirt of their mother, side nature. You know what I'm saying? Because the majority of this stuff is indeed made up. Now, hold on. Now, David wrote, we understand that oftentimes we may know someone whose mother is toxic or less than desirable to the detriment of the individual. Well, I think he probably said that because of her ethnicity. Where did he get their attire? Is that how Canaanites dressed 3,000 years ago? Well, not from what I've seen. I think they got out from some comic book, something like that. I used to follow them, and one chicken was in the chat wishing death on her white grandmother. I called her out too because I would never. How about the destruction of mankind by Ray? How do you feel about that? Don't change the subject, brother. Or if you want, we can do one each. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't recall you answering any of my question. How do you feel about side? Hold on. Wait, he's not gonna come. It's obvious. I shared that in so many times.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about Sanetta cursing your God. How do you feel about that?
If he wants you to answer, he gotta answer first.
Yeah. So I know you meant cheek by chicken. Now David wrote that creates an environment where there's disconnect, and that's possibly why he feels his mama is the devil. Storm wrote at David, even if your mama or dad is a crackhead, I don't think God encourages you to disrespect them. I think so as well. But according to their book, his white mama Esau is hated. I mean, Esau, Moses, Joseph, ask them for records. See, Sosa is running.
I'd rather continue my research.
What research? What have you researched in your life? Brother, you know damn well there's no archaeological record for all the guys you've been talking about. Can you show us, please? It doesn't exist. And please don't get this wrong. I don't have anything against you. I'm just trying to explain and demonstrate, which I've been doing for years, that most of the stuff that those people talk about, and it's not just the black Hebrews as well, the black Muslims and the Nation of Islam and 5% NGE and all that, and the Moors as well, Moorish Science Temple
Yes,
of
sir.
America.
Get them, Shaka, all of them.
Yeah. Most of the thing they teach is just made up. It's not historical. It's not scientific. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes, you know, maybe because of what I said, people might be angry, but it's going to make them think and look it up, you know, because I'm going to prove him wrong, and I'm going to show artifacts. I'm going to show some archaeological data that mentions Esau, that mentions Joseph, that mentions Moses, and you will find out that you won't find anything at all. You know what I'm saying? But for Kemet, you know, we can talk about, you know, the writings mentioning Ra, but Ra is God. It's like me asking you about Yahweh. You know, what did Yahweh do yesterday? How is Yahweh dressed? Those are gods. How will we know? What about the human beings? You know, I can show you artifacts of Hatshepsut, of Ramesses II, of Amenhotep III, of Akhenaten. I've actually shown them already. You know what I'm saying? And so many other people. The first Egyptologist in history, an African Kemetic priest, Haim Wasset. I can show that as well. I filmed it. He's in the exhibit. I made a video about him. And I'm not the one who labeled him the first Egyptologist. Two different PhDs did. Now, Texas Bam wrote David. But Sosa, please, can you just call your homie, your Hebrews are like homies, you know? Those who are not scared, those who are not running, you know, those who are not like teenager, right? Yara and all the rest of this, the pseudo dudes, you know what I'm saying? Please, you know, I would appreciate if you do that, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't be in a religion that calls my mom a devil. She was white. Damasa wrote, your sky daddy tried to drown everyone and has plans of eternal burning for the rest. Nice God you got, bro. Texas Bama, he said, it's not even God in that book. Just a man claiming to be God in order to deceive the whole world. Yeah, where the Hebrews at? Where you at, Hebrews? I mean, it's always like that, man. It's always like that. They know where to be capping. They know where to be pseudo. They can be pseudo with the Butler Reggie. They can be pseudo with Rob on the 5% Christian apologist. They can be, of course, pseudo with Garfield, aka Trackfield, aka Trashfield, as some call him. They can be pseudo with Ankh. They can be pseudo with pseudo killers. They can be pseudo, of course, on the HOKKK, you know, where they celebrate the death of Africans and said that Martin Luther King was a B and that he was an S, and that the Bible says he deserved death. When it's time to be proper, when it's time to demonstrate and show and prove, those Hebrews are no show. They're hiding like roaches, you know. You see them when you just turn on the light and they run and hide. You know what I'm saying? I'm not comparing them. I'm not saying they are roaches. I'm saying they're hiding like roaches. You know what I'm saying? When it's dark, when you don't really see them like that.
Cacalaca.
What's that?
Cacalaca in Spanish.
Oh, okay. But it sounds close to cockroach, you know. Don't be cacalacas, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. Don't be cacalacas.
But you know what's crazy?
Yes, bro.
You know, it's so funny because you know, all of these kind of beliefs, even these pseudo, even these, I don't want to say pseudo, it's all pseudo because religion is pseudo, right? It's pseudoscience, essentially. But even this Moorish thing, right? All of them, they all have this kind of thing where they kind of bait you with the black identity, and then they but behind the veil, there's total white identity. You know, if you could put it that way, it's all European. It's all European, man. If you know, it's definitely not African. It's not. It's not African, and it goes from one grade, like pseudo, you could say, or historical religion, Abrahamic religion, you could say, in that context, to even to 5-star crazy pseudo Madam what's her name, Blavatsky type of religious Moorish stuff, you know. And it's incredible, man. And I don't think it's an accident why our people in the US go for this, because it to me, I think it's like, because we are Christianized. It doesn't matter what religion we jump into, we are Christianized. We can be Moorish, but we're Moorish Christianized. We can be Muslim, but we're Christianized Muslims. We could be anything else, but we carry this kind of funny Europeanness with us through that journey. I mean, just the fact that we thinking about like black, like how they can bait us with the black thing. I mean, who gave us that term? Who set the rules for that we come to know it from? You know, so I think it's like, it's sad, but none of those things have anything to do with being African. It doesn't have anything to do with our history. Now, with our culture, our history. Now, some of us, of course, we were introduced to these things in different points in our history: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. But that doesn't mean that the core concept, the core values are African, you know? So it's just it's sad to see us fight for these things. Like the morals, they always say Islam. They make it a point to say Islam, like, but you're only saying Islam because you're against Christians. If you hadn't been a Christian slave, you wouldn't find any value in saying Islam. They just say it to be, but it's still the same thing. I mean, the Christian Catholic Church, sponsored all of that. You could be a Muslim and come to the US. You could be a Jew and come to the US as a free man, as a free person. You could come, you could own slaves that way, and they don't seem to recognize that history. None of them seem to do that, but they all seem to revert back to it with some sort of anti-Africanness. Now, how can that not be European?
Yeah, and that's all of them. Every last one of them, they always try to put Africa aside or try to discredit them from history in their so-called fairy tale doctrines. So in saying that, I just don't see, and then the black people in every group always try to discount the fact that these leaders was European. This mentality is European. It's all the same, but they all try to come like they coming from a different perspective, when it all boils down to the same thing, just giving their so-called God a different name. And then they trying to tell people that this God is the Almighty. What I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. So in saying that, yeah, man, that's what it took over the world. It ain't just in the European, it's everywhere. It's all in Africa too. A lot of them, some of them still continue with their traditions, but a lot of them is in Muslims or Christian or whatever doctrine you want to think of. You know what I'm saying? And they know their history. Some of them, they know their history. But like I told you, it's the world is already conquered by these people, and they all over. They infiltrate in every way, and they take over the minds of people. So the small groups of people that have higher level of knowledge or seek higher level of knowledge, people look at them like they crazy, and they outlaw. So yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yeah, it exposes how deeply, how much of history they don't know. I mean, the Inquisition was pivotal. It's pivotal history to understand in the conquering of America, conquering of Africa, conquering of that's what we call the first world today, right? You know, it reshaped the world. The Inquisition, it reshaped the world, you know. So, you know, it's so crazy that these guys or girls too, they don't seem to recognize the Inquisition for what it was, you know, and they don't see the connection that those religions had, how they formulated, how they were formulated within the Inquisition, you know. So, and they don't seem to recognize that Africans, Black Africans, if you want to call them that, or just Africans, were not allowed in the club as free people. You know, other people could be Jewish, other people could be Muslim, and other people could be Christian, and not have to go to the slave farm. You know, and that's the thing about it. So even before the Europeans got involved in before the Inquisition, I mean, there were the caliphates, you know, that had the same rules, same type of rules, you know, not the same exact rules, but similar rules, you know, and you know, Judaic people played a role in both of those, the caliphates and the later Inquisition. I mean, they were, you know, allowed to be conversos, to convert, to, you know, practice in secrecy, is to say that I'm a Jewish person. Now I can convert to Catholicism and I can be allowed to keep my property. I can be allowed to have a job and function in the main society. If you were a Muslim, you were allowed to convert. But if you were, or be expelled, but you weren't sent to that, you know, Black slave plantation. You see, and that's the thing about it. So a lot of those conversos went to America. Muslim converts, people that converted from Islam to Christianity, and Jewish, you know, and that's just part of the making of the Americas, you know, the colonization of the Americas, you know. But these people were not the people on the slave, they were not the slaves, you know. So it's really sad to see our people look at that and look at the history and not see that for what it is. To not see that you can adopt those religions, but you're really adopting the colonizers, you know, philosophy, their actual religion. It's crazy, man. It's really sad. It's pathetic, and it's a tragedy, you know. And I don't think you could have even a worse tragedy as a Black person, you know, on earth, you know, to be honest.
It's an identity crisis. It is pathetic. I mean, they took doctrines brought forth by people of European descent and they put a Black spin on it, you know. And they that's why they like to talk with neophytes. You know, they can tell them whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? They can even put words in people's mouth. But what's interesting is that we have some people who are obviously of the Hebrew Israelite persuasion. And I asked them, how do you feel about scam nature saying that your God is demonic and a bipolar mother effer? Not one of them said that they disagree with it. This is to show you how nowadays, 2023, so-called Hebrew Israelites are so weak. Man. It's as if Sa is their new God, because if they have a God that they're supposed to love with all their heart, like Jesus said, a God that they should not even call in vain, according to the law as given to Moses. Somebody insults their God, they don't take issues at that. It's as if that person is superior than their own God, man. And that shows how weak they are, man. They don't even stand for their own God, man. Some people don't defend their wives. It is what it is, but we're talking about their God.
You know what they gonna say?
Go ahead. Yeah,
what
gonna
no,
say?
You go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, you know, they're gonna say us. I don't know what he's talking about, man. He's crazy.
Well, let them say. I would like them to, but they won't even say that. They're shaking like, oh, I don't want Sat to block me. I want to be capping on this channel.
It's a cult, man.
That's just to show you that these people, they ain't really about what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's all, you know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know, like, they ain't got to do the man nothing, but for them to be just interfering with him shows a lot. You know what I mean? It's all about, you know, they worry about more the physical than their own myth, you know. In saying that, I think like people program children from a youth, so all their life they looking for understanding of for existence, you know. They everybody seeking that need to know, and that's where it's easy to get these human beings, because they so indoctrinated that they don't understand that they already are, you know. And that's what it is. You are who you are, and you keep seeking for something, and there's nothing out there but nature and experience. So in saying that, that's why a lot of these people fall into these doctrines, because everybody belief is that afterlife, you know. That afterlife is where they get them. Everybody's scared of death, you know.
And
So
they
yeah,
like brainwash, man. They like pure
yeah.
brainwash.
But
They
that's
like
what
pure
I'm
brainwash,
saying.
man.
That's the main thing.
Anytime,
That resurrection and that um thing for my sins, you know. So that's how they catch that's how they got all these human beings in a box, because everybody is scared of so-called afterlife, you know, whatever that is, because no man hasn't come back from the dead and tell them that. So in saying that, yeah, that's the main thing I think about religion. People is living in fear, you know. And even saying like the walking dead is not just a saying, you know, because a lot of people just living and hoping to be saved into some imaginary heaven when they pass.
yeah. And you know the crazy thing about it is that to challenge their belief, you know, all they really need is a trip to the outback somewhere with somebody that's totally different from them, someone they know nothing about, but have to find a way to survive with. And just that one experience will totally change their belief. You know, but they don't get that opportunity. They don't get the opportunity to even go out there to find out, to experience that, you know. And that's that is they're living in a total bubble, isolated, and looking for more people that have the same crutch to get some sort of comfort from, you know. But it's the worst type of crutch to have, because it's not based on anything real. You know, it is totally mental, like brainwash. That they don't have to challenge the idea. The idea doesn't ask them to challenge anything. The idea asks them to isolate themselves from everything, you know, to have it, and only it. It's like meanwhile, the cats that are like acting like captains and shit like that, they total frauds, they total fakers. They don't care about that shit at all. Absolutely
Exactly.
not. They don't care about it at all. They just want you to separate yourself from everything. And then they just come and take a little bit, you know, the captains come and take some from you. They just want to make you slaves. And it is like, but in some kind of way, you know, I have this thing inside of me that says, yeah, okay, if that's what you want to be, if you want to be that pathetic, then hey, you could be that. But I also know that's wrong, because the only type of person that could want to be in that situation is a person that's really, really low at that time, man. No, no happy or healthy person would want to be used. You know, it just don't work that way. But you know, yeah, man. You know, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. What is it? What love me for say? That's like going camping for a few weeks. Exactly. 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 You go camping for a few weeks, you go out there, you're gonna realize that ain't nobody gonna get that fire started but you and somebody to know how to start some damn fire. It's not gonna be how well you pray, it's not gonna be you holding your hands that's gonna that's gonna teach you how to start a fire. It's science to starting a fire, you know, and it's just that simple. And the person that shows you how to do it, you're gonna be thankful for. You know, it's just that simple. The person that shows you how to fish, and catch a fish to cook it, you're going to be thankful for. It's not going to be some spook. I don't want to talk bad, but it's not going to be something you can't touch, a person you can't touch that you're going to be thankful for. It's going to be the person that taught you that you're going to be thankful for, anyway, sister. Hello, Andrea.
Hello. Hi.
Yes. You hear me? I'm going through my trauma now.
Hey, it's good to be, counted among the ones who are standing for what's right? As far as, it's amazing, I wasn't raised in a church, right? But so we would go like maybe Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter or something like that, right? And but then I got into it as I got older, and then it went from the holiness to the Pentecostal to the charismatic to the Messianic Jewish. I mean, it's just all of it still is all the same, right? Like what you guys were saying, it's all about fear. It's all about, I remember when we were in the Pentecostal church, they said they're digging up the ashes of the red heifer. That means Jesus is coming soon. This was in the 1980s. That didn't happen, right? Then they wrote a book, 88 Reasons Why Jesus Didn't Come Back in 1988. That didn't happen. Then, all this stuff is all fear-based. And it just, there is nothing else that they offer you that's going to help you to become a better person. When you're in Pentecostal holiness, you can't wear this, you can't do that, you can't, and all these restrictions of what you can't do and what you can't, and what you can't drink, you can't wear jewelry. Some of them did, but you weren't supposed to. So it's always this constant changing of the guard and trying to. But it's the same thing in each and every one of them. I don't even care if you're, if it was charismatic, it was still one of those. You can go to hell, or if you don't believe in this, the hell thing is always the big overarching thing that connects all of them together. All of them. I don't care which one it is, whether the Hebrew Israelites, I don't care which one it is. It's always this fear, the fear mongering that they put amongst us to say, if you don't do it our way, you're going to hell. I mean, we've been kicked out because we finally came to the conclusion that y'all are lying. And so we've been kicked out. Me and my husband were kicked out, put out, all kinds of stuff because we just decided, through all the ones that we were going to, can't do that no more. Can't do that. Oh, I don't like the way you talk about those people. Can't. And then, I don't want you talking. You need to leave. Don't talk to my people. And it's the same. It's the same thing over and over again. And you should finally get it at some point. We got it in the 90s. And then, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in 2020. But like I said, we jumped into the Hebrewism and jumped right back out. Just because I heard, something about Black people, that we need to know who we are. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. And you jump in, you're like, they said we can't, that Africans are our brothers and sisters. What the hell is all that all about, right? Then you got to jump back. You got to jump the hell back out because it doesn't sound good. And it doesn't sound good. And so, you have to, at some point, I have my Christian friends who I try to tell, I can't do that anymore. They keep trying to pull you back in there. And I'm like, they said before the American Revolution, the majority of slaves weren't even Christians. So what were you before that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Well, then you need to go find that then too. Don't sit there and try to tell me to come back, but then you don't even want to understand where you came from. And so it's just this over and over and over again, again, if you don't believe that particular way, you are going to hell, and hell is what you have all up in this cranium up in here, all that, that song Superstition. If you believe in things you don't understand, what does it say happens? What does it say happens? You suffer. You suffer when you believe in things you don't understand.
Yep.
You don't understand. Without understanding, you have nothing. If you believe in things that you don't understand, you suffer. And that's what people have been doing. And that's where all that hell is at. It's all up here in this cranium. Stop believing and know for yourself. Know what you know, because then nobody else can come back and take it from you. But if you're constantly believing what somebody's telling you, you're going to continue to suffer. And suffering is, falls right in line with a lot of what they believe. We got to suffer for Christ. We got to put on, it's this constant, it's just this constant, just, being contortionist of trying to fit into what they want you, what mold they want you to fit in. And then it just, and it doesn't feel good to you, and you start complaining, this is too tight. Well, that's because you're not doing something right. It's constant. Right. And it's just, we don't have to keep doing that. Especially as grown people. I mean, I'm still kind of like, how do we how do we as grown people want to continue to allow somebody else to tell us what the hell we need to be doing? I mean, honestly, why do we need somebody? If you haven't figured it out, then you ain't gonna figure it out. I mean, if people want to believe that till they die, that's fine. Go do you. I'm not coming. Don't be looking for me. I'm just saying, do you? But at some point, our grownness should have taught us that we are good. We should be good thinkers, and we should be able to speak what we know. And so you're coming on here, Shaka, and you're bringing things to them that these people don't like. You can speak multiple languages, which most people in America don't want to do, because it's not convenient. We want you to come over here. You got to speak American. You got to speak English, right? You have to come over here. But when we come over to your country, the majority of you already know how to speak English. You already know how to, you've covered that territory. And so we look like stupid idiots when we, want to tell somebody what the criteria is for you to even qualify to speak on anything in America. I mean, somebody was complaining about your French the other day, and I'm like, what are you, what? Man, some people in America you can't understand. What are you talking about, right? Because you have different dialects within America. You can go to Louisiana, you'll hear one kind of dialect. You can go up to New York and they sound different. You go to California, you got the people who talk the whatever they talk over there. You can go to the backwoods and they sound a whole nother way. You go down to Florida, they sound and you go to any part of the country, we all sound different. And we want to sit here and try to tell you ain't black enough because you speak French. I mean, give me a break.
Sister, have you seen the Dalai Lama with that boy?
Yeah,
I
let's
have.
talk about that. Oh my God.
Oh, let me show you.
It's two things, Shaka, we got to talk about. The Dalai Lama, and we got to talk about your man from South Africa that went to Uganda.
Oh, well, somebody in the comments said, he understands that, it's not for people being killed based on their sexual orientation, but he didn't need to wrap himself with the LGBT flag, but hey,
Oh, you talking about the brother?
Yeah, the big Pan-African brother there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's nasty, man. Shaka, I don't want to see that no more.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought he was dead.
My stomach turned over this morning when I saw this. I was just like,
when this was this year?
That was someone in February, but it's in the last few days that he was buzzing online.
They kept it a secret.
Well, not really.
That boy's like, get your hands and your lips off me.
But,
no, sister, he ended up. I'm sorry, I didn't see it, Shaka, this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, is right.
You nasty bastard.
Imagine what they doing behind closed doors. He was doing to them boys. He doing that in public.
He molested that boy. He molested that boy in front of everybody on camera. He convinced that little boy to stick his own tongue out. That little boy was just about to do what he said, and he even tried it. And you know something? Oh, he molested that boy. That was sexual assault. That was sexual assault on camera, right out in the open. And we're gonna watch the whole world pretend like it wasn't sexual assault. That right there. Oh my God, that is just horrible. And like Shaka, like you said, see, I couldn't see the whole thing because I was on my phone this morning. But when I got home, I looked at it on the TV and I was like, oh no, I saw that little boy's tongue come out of his own mouth.
The image is bad, but what we hear, like this is the whole thing.
They all wicked. They all in on it. They all sat there and watched that. And And my question is, who put that little boy up to it? And how do we know soon as that camera goes off that they not contacting that little boy for round 2?
Yeah.
You might say you're the chosen one, your own boy, but let's listen up.
Can I hug you?
The boy asks, "Can I hug you?" Says, "Come on."
Then I think finally here also.
Now, obviously, that's edited. From what I read, first he kissed him on the cheek. Then, as we can see, the Dalai Lama is pointing here, so he kissed the boy on the mouth. And then listen to what he says.
And suck my tongue.
Suck my tongue. So the boy is like, what? So the boy is like going for the forehead. Then he imitates him by sticking his tongue out. But even when he kissed him on the mouth, the boy wasn't really down for that. But look at, you see? Man, that's what, man. So his office apologized on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't come in front of a camera and say, I apologize. Talking about, oh yeah, he's like, I forgot the word, like joking, you know what I'm saying? But man, there's a lot of sexual abuse amongst Buddhism. I mean, I guess it's everywhere, all race, creed, color, ethnicity, religion, But that's appalling, man. That's appalling, man. And obviously, a lot of people in the chat didn't know about that.
No, we got an exhibition on molestation. Like that's a technique. That's what when I watched it because I've been watching that like maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 times now. And I got the sense that man knows exactly what he's doing. That wasn't his first round at getting somebody to do that. It's almost like he had an innate instinct, on how to deal with that. The way he paused and then went to the head touching first, and then he paused like he was sensing something. And then he went for the big maneuver. He suck on my tongue. It's like, what the? I mean, that is the creepiest thing I've ever seen or in a long ass time in public like that. And I say people need to call for that man to step the hell down. He cannot be the leader of no type of organization, even religious organization.
That's what we trying to tell them HO clowns over there. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell, imagine what he been doing years before. Now he probably senile and don't know where he at. So, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, bro, it's the same thing all over. A lot of these so-called leaders that they'll be trying to get young boys around them and act like they leading them and all kind of thing. They all got some dirtiness, and it is not a coincidence. You know what I mean? That every time behind some religious or some make believe, uh, make them boys into men, frat parties and all these nonsense, all these groups. There's always some kind of foul thing going on. So I'm not surprised. It's just sickening, man.
Yeah, it is sick indeed. It is
some
so sick, man.
Some adults, yeah, me fro, she wrote, "Where's the boy's father?" But it's some adults that put that boy up to that. There's nothing but adults around him. And they watched him do that, and and none of them said no. None of them objected. None of them, it's just so. That is sad. Yeah, where is his father? But we don't know if the father. I mean, to be honest with you, it looks like it's India, and India has a lot of child suffering. A lot of children being adopted to the outside world. And they call it trafficking because a lot of the children are being sold. I mean, that's a big problem. It's not only India that's happening to, but I mean, you never know what's going on here, but to me, it just looked all bad. Like anytime you have all those adults sitting there watching that, it shouldn't
laughing.
even matter what
and laughing
is, right? And laughing. They look like they're with it. They know something more. It looks like to me, like, that is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. I don't get it. It couldn't have been the first time. It have to be something normalized, you know. Like, I'm not into spookism and I'm not into conspiracy theories, but this seems like that had to have help to find that little boy to get him to do that.
And the funny thing is that when we compare, when a lady asks him for a hug, listen to what he says.
Marian.
Hi, Your Holiness. I'm Marion Shanley West. I'm from Drumlin Media TV. I had lots of questions for you, but the one most important one I wanted to ask you was, could I give you a hug?
Okay. But don't kiss.
Don't kiss. You don't want the kiss from the woman. And when she gives him the hug, look at his facial expression. You know, doesn't look too pleased. Then he's gonna make sure she doesn't get close. You know, hey, keep your distance. But with the young boy, man, he was all smiles, man. That's terrible, man. You know.
It is. It is.
Oh man. But anyway,
bad timing. Bad timing for the Buddhist.
Yeah, bad timing for the Buddhist. Yeah. And like I said, I saw on MSN that they published the article from India Today or something like that. Most Western media did not talk about it. I mean, I saw the main news agency in Europe who talked about it because he apologized, or his office apologized, you know, on his behalf. But before that, there was mainly Asian papers talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, hey. So brothers and sisters,
Western media is duplicitous, man. We deal with the Western powers deal with any type of leader that is, you know, for
their
whatever
interest.
that's going to fulfill their political interest.
Yes,
and
indeed.
if that leader doesn't come out and make themselves a sore thumb, they won't necessarily point it out. But this is like, yeah, man. I'm sure. Well, you know, China is tired of the Buddhists. They're tired of this guy. Chinese are tired of this guy, of Tibet. They you know, they don't want any of that, and not just in Tibet, in the surrounding regions also. There's some kind of conflict, ethnic conflict going on there. So this is not a good thing for that political situation. But at the same time, it doesn't help anybody to have a pedophile leader. It just doesn't. It's not going to help anyone. It shouldn't be excused by anybody. You can always get yourself a new leader. You can get one tomorrow. There's one waiting. You know, just get one, get it over with, get the next one on. Let him be the next Buddhist leader. But this is only going to make it worse if that guy sits around there like that. That is just, and they need to have that's some red flags right there. When you have that many people go along with this and participate, like with those excuses, they need to have like some reform inside of that Buddhist thing, you know. Yeah, you know, because to me, this is a clear indication that something is terribly wrong. Something's terribly wrong. Yeah.
Mr. East, I wouldn't say that's a hip hop leader. He's one of the main figure of hip hop, but you know, he's not the leader of the hip hop, you know. But hey, you know, that's Africa Bambaataa, and you know, later Wiz and other people, Hassan Campbell and many other people will be fighting against it. And we had the trick Scamnature who said that it's all fake, and that was in his own city, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, brothers and sisters. Yes, brother.
So I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry, Sean. But if you make the contrast, they would be like the ones keeping it silent.
Yes.
You know, that's the crazy thing about it. You know,
because they do the same thing.
If you just flip it around, right? Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right, Ron Shaka. Peace to the panel.
Peace.
Yeah, peace
Enjoy
to the
your
panel.
food.
Good to see you, Andrea, again.
Yeah, good
Same
to see you.
here.
Well, sister.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So good to see you, Andrea Brunet, Young Heru, Envy Bennett. Thank you, brothers and sisters in the chat. I appreciate your presence. My closing remarks are the same. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I to do an Echeru? Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.